on YouTube? It's your boy NextGenNero back with another review, and we got to talk about Jedi Survivor and why I think it is actually a masterpiece and very underrated, even though reviewed good. And I know it kind of had a rough launch with performance modes and stuff like that, not running smooth, but I honestly think this game should have been nominated for Game of the Year. I honestly think it should have been nominated over a handful of games. You know, Spider-Man 2, for example, I think that's a fun-looking game from what I see and heard, but I just think Jedi Survivor is another level. So I'm going to start this video off by saying Respawn are some of my favorite devs, and I have over 1,000 hours in Apex alone. I love Titanfall 2. Jedi Fallen Order was and still is one of the best Star Wars games I've ever played. They've been killing it lately, and Jedi Survivor just furthers push that narrative that Respawn are amazing developers. Whether it's single player or multiplayer, they definitely do not miss. And with the rumored Mandalorian game on the way from Respawn, I'm very intrigued to see how that turns out. Hey man, I'm a fan, and I hope they just keep delivering. Before I dive into this video and this game, I want to shout out my sponsor and thanks my sponsor, Sticks Gaming. He's a behavioral scientist, an author, a gaming investor, a fashion designer, has his PhD, a music producer, an entrepreneur. He does it all, man. He writes plenty of great articles, and he has an amazing clothing store as well that I highly recommend checking out. His links will be in the description below, so let's get into it. The first thing I want to touch on in this video is the graphics. I came and bought this game after the big patches, so the game ran absolutely fine, fantastic for me. Coming in late and not being a day one purchaser has, you know, saved me again. So I got the game. It was very polished. It ran great with my Series X. I played in performance mode all the time because, man, it just felt so good. But every now and again in certain environments, I would switch to the ray tracing quality mode just to see how everything looks. And it looks fine in both games, but it's just something about that smooth, silky 60 FPS that I love. So I understand why some people was upset when it wasn't as locked 60 and smooth at launch, but Respawn has listened, they made some changes, and they got the game running smooth. It's honestly one of the best looking games on current generation consoles, in my humble opinion. So many times I was taking screenshots and clips thanks to this awesome camera mode. Every character model looks highly detailed with plenty of love and care, from the main cast to the side characters to even the creepy aliens you may come across in this galaxy. They always are very pleasing and beautiful to look at, and it's a step up from Fallen Order, which to this day I still think is a very gorgeous game. Now I want to touch on the story and how it stacks up to Fallen Order. I would do my best to keep this section spoiler free. Just know this story is fire. It has plenty of plot twists, great side content, and a variety of exploration things to keep you glued to your seat the entire journey. I won't spoil anything, as I mentioned earlier, but I have to mention how amazing this cast is. Cal and Marin love story specifically was so amazing to watch, and it's honestly such a vibe. I connected with both of them in a way that I didn't think I would at first, and you know, just how the character growth from, you know, the first game, how they meet, just the backstory, just how they blossom into this like great closeness, you know, if that's a word. It's very dope, man. And you know, she tried to help keep Cal from, you know, going to the dark side with all the loss and trauma he's going through from the first game alone, and just people he lost along the way. I won't spoil anything, but you guys definitely play this game. The story is definitely fire, man. It is by far one of, if not the best Star Wars game you can play in recent memory, man. I absolutely loved it. And the ending, you know, it hints for the third game to maybe wrap up a trilogy, but I'm heavily invested, man. Like I said, I love Cal. He's very dope. And just, you know, speaking of Cal, I want to shout out to the customization. That's a huge step up as well from the first game. You know, it's just nice being able to change his hairstyle, having him put a beard on. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I'm a bearded savage out here, man. Y'all know what it is. Real man rock beards. Hashtag man bun. Hashtag whatever I felt like wearing. He had a lot of cool clothes, a lot of things to find. Got to shout out my boy BD1 as well. Looked better than ever. Customization was a clear step up, and I enjoyed that in the first game, but I always felt like it could have been better. Now, characters are returning to the game from the first entry of the series as well. You know, shout out Sears, shout out Therese, shout out to the Mantis, just shout out to all the returning characters. And I also want to just highlight how great this voice acting and character development as a whole is. I have to highlight that, man. Well done, EA and Respawn. You guys are killing it. I want to talk about the gameplay and the combat, which I think was great. It is many ways to fight. It is 4 stances you get to use now, which gives a great opportunity for replayability and mixing and matching your styles. My go-to stances was the dual sabers and then the blaster stance. Specifically, the blaster stance was my favorite. Just feeling like a badass where, you know, just popping people, and it was just really fun to use, and I love that, man. So, you know, you can reset your upgrades as you go along and try different builds and different, you know, styles and stuff like that. And it's very fun, and it gives it a nice amount of replayability, which I will also touch on. And I also love that you keep your abilities to explore and traverse the world from the first game while adding plenty more ways to go. So something always defying off the beaten path. So I recommend checking out random places that may catch your eye. Did I mention you can ride pets in this game? Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome, dude. Just go check this game out, man. I love, riding the pets and gliding through the sky and stuff like that, man. Like I said, this game is a huge step up, man. Even just from the scope and size, and everything just seems higher budget and higher quality. And once again, the first game was already amazing. Okay, so the last thing I want to touch on is the music, the sound design, and the replayability. The music in this game is amazing, but that shouldn't be surprising because most music in the Star Wars games, movies, shows, the Star Wars universe as a whole, in my opinion, has always had good music and was well done from the start. From what I played and watched in my life, it's always a vibe. The sound design was great from hearing troopers yell as you cut off their arms, and yes, it's dismemberment now, and I know that a lot of people was requesting that, and that's very awesome too that they added to the gameplay. To just hearing the nature as you explore and hearing the lush environments, the wind, the waterfalls, just the animals and everything is just such a vibe. Even the conversations between the robots and the clones, and it's just so dope, man. Just hearing everybody, the stormtroopers talk. It's always hilarious, and they stepped that up from the first game as well, even though it was some very hilarious moments of just eavesdropping in the first game as well. I actually love that, and it's little things like that that just make me crack a smile when playing the game and just sit back and just enjoy everything before I go, smoking with my blaster. Now, as far as replayability, you can reset your skills and abilities, which costs 1 skill point, and you also keep all your stuff that you learn in a new game plus, which I think is awesome because you got different fighting styles and ways to explore the world with the abilities that you gain from your first playthrough. Guys, I'm a huge fan of Jedi Fallen Order, and in my opinion, Jedi Survivor is a step up in every way. I think the game is a masterpiece, and I highly recommend playing this. Hopefully, it'll be coming to Game Pass and EA Play soon, so even more gamers can experience this gem and in the most polished state that it has been. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you enjoyed this game as much as I did, if you have played it. If you did not, let me know as well if you're looking forward to it and maybe checking it out when it comes to Game Pass, which is pretty much a guarantee. Or did you prefer the first game? Comment below, let's talk about it. It's been your boy NextGenNero, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.